Hello, this is Buckeye News for Friday, December 9th, 1999. I'm Jason Ike.
And I'm Amy Helmuth. Today we have a segment on the canned food drive and the Mars lander.
But first we're going to give you some information that you might need to hear.
Indian Valley, the deadline for senior pictures to be turned in for the yearbook is December 15th. You can give them to Mr. McConnell at Indian Valley or the guidance at Buckeye.
Claymont, there's a dance after the game on Friday, December 10th from 9 to 11. It's $2 a person or $1 for basketball players and cheerleaders. See Mrs. Clough for permission slips.
Now we're going to go to Dave Watson with the canned food drive.
The battle rages on. Micah versus the rest of the school. Round one. Who will arise victorious? Remember, we're not just doing this for ourselves, we're doing it for others too. So try to be a little bit more generous. Round two. So far, Becca is out to a very good head start. So remember, the cutoff is Monday. Monday, Monday, Monday.
Thanks, Dave. That was a wonderful segment.
Tusky Valley, the community action team is sponsoring a senior high dance on Saturday, December 11th, 7:30 to 10:30 at the middle school. It's $5 per person, and pictures will be taken with Santa. This is for high school students only.
Now we're going to go to Chris Hatter and find out all about the Mars lander.
Recently, they sent a space probe into outer space to study Mars. Lost the space probe. A few questions arise. Where exactly is the space probe? Why is it so hard to find it? And why did they send it there in the first place? We at Buckeye News think we know. Recently, Buckeye News has joined the race to find the space probe. It wasn't too hard to discover Mars. Now all we need to do is find that space probe.
Some of the Times Reporter newspaper readers have offered some suggestions on where that Mars lander is. Let's see what some of them had to say. It's obvious what happened to the Mars lander. The Martians intercepted it and shot it down. The Martians don't want their peace disturbed, so they turned that instrument off. It's obvious what happened. We'll skip that one. I see the United States has wasted another $200 million on a probe up on Mars. How long is it going to be before the government stops spending taxpayers' money on things that are unnecessary? Why do we need to know what's on Mars? We spend millions trying to find a planet with life, all the while degrading the most desirable, beautiful, productive, diverse planet imaginable. The new traffic lights on West High... Well, anyways, you see what the readers are trying to say about this Mars lander.
We turn to Mr. Kula for a scientific opinion on what happened to the Mars lander.
Martians ate it.
Thank you.
They walk among us. Got a picture. Here's what they look like.
Although some people are very opinionated about this matter, others just don't care.
What do you think about them losing a $200 million piece of space probe up in outer space?
What's Mars?
In case you have heard nothing about the Mars lander, here's a little bit from Channel 1 News.
For the Martian surface? Well, yesterday, NASA engineers admitted that the last best chance to communicate with the lander had come and gone. In other words, some people say the Mars polar lander could be lost in space. The lander left for Mars a year ago on a mission to send back information about the surface of the red planet. The hope was that after it arrived on Friday, the lander would discover water on Mars. On Monday, we reported that scientists were unable to contact the lander, but remained hopeful that they still could. However, yesterday, NASA said all realistic hopes of contacting the polar lander have ended. It was a somber occasion for the exhausted scientists.
We were unsuccessful in our attempt to establish communications.
Scientists don't know what happened to the polar lander, and some believe they never will. NASA's attempts to get to Mars have been plagued by problems. The $165 million Mars Polar Lander is the second Mars-bound space probe to disappear in less than 3 months. And back in 1993, the $1 billion Mars Observer, a spacecraft sent to map the surface of Mars, disappeared without a trace. But NASA scientists have been able to find a silver lining in this latest setback.
I think just by getting the probes to the launch pad, we accomplished a lot, and already other missions are using our technologies, which was the purpose of the Deep Space 2 project to begin with.
NASA is now launching an investigation to find out what really happened to the Mars Polar Lander. Some scientists believe that the failure of the Polar Lander could delay the next Mars space probe mission, which is scheduled to begin in 2001.
Thanks, Chris. That was a great segment. Well, that's all for this week. See you later.
Bye.